Hey everybody, welcome to KO Airbrushing and Design Tutorials. Hope everybody had a great weekend so far. Anyway, what I want to do today is I want to go over the Iwata maintenance kit. I picked up one of these. I think this is a great little thing that anybody should have. Definitely the pliers are a must-have. These have a plastic interior so they don't damage your heads or anything like your fluid head nozzle or your needle cap or anything like that. Also works great for disassembling the back end of the brush, and I actually do have to clean a brush, so I will walk through everything with you. You've got a needle case, you've got a nozzle remover, which we will be using. This is for the air passage for your air valve. We don't need to play with that today. The air valve's fine, so that's not going to be an issue. So the three pieces that I'm using normally out of here are the tip remover, the pliers, and I like using the 1.2. There's a 1.4, which is for bigger brushes. And basically what this is for the needle bushing. So we'll go through how to remove all of that stuff and just how easy this kit makes it to do that. There's a couple of things that I do add to the kit. Number one, a pair of tweezers. Number two, a little flathead screwdriver. And number three, I like to add these little dental picks, I guess is what they are. But yeah, those work great. So anyway, let's strip down a brush and I'll show you exactly how this works, because this is just such an awesome, easy way to do things. It helps so much. Just gonna move that down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so take our back end off here. So the reason that I added this little flathead screwdriver is because one of the easiest things to do when you're taking your brush apart to clean it is get in here and open up that needle chuck. And that will make getting the needle out of the brush so much easier. So then take off your lock at the back. Needle comes out just smooth as can be because you've loosened that off. And then we'll go in with our pair of pliers. And we'll remove the back end of the brush. And like I said, with this kit, this is just so easy to do now. Pull that piece out. And that looks like it needs a bit of a cleaning. So the other thing I do is I always have a bottle of solvent sitting here. And anything that needs to be cleaned gets tossed into the solvent right away. There's your trigger. Okay, now what makes this really, really cool is now you take this 1.2 screwdriver, you slide it in through the back, and that fits right into that chuck valve. And then you can just screw that out, pull it right out of the end of the brush, take this out, toss that in the solvent. And normally my pieces, when I throw them in the solvent, they're only in there for a couple of minutes, so it does not hurt any of the bushings or seals or anything like that. At least not that I've ever had happen anyway. And clean that off again. Okay, now we're going to go in and we're going to take the head off. So the first thing I do is I always pop the little guy loose, make sure that he's already coming apart, then take the big one off. Okay, now you take this part, that goes into the cleaner, and this guy, and there's your nozzle out, and your nozzle holder, your nozzle base. Okay, now at this point in time, now you can go in and you can check out your brush, make sure everything is nice and clean all the way through there. And I'm not sure. Okay, so there is something in there. So that's when I go ahead and use one of these, get a little bit of cleaner on there. I think we got it. Yes, we did. Okay, so that part's now clean and ready for reassembly. And of course you want to clean your needle. So what I do there is I just take a shop towel, add a little bit of reducer onto it or solvent, whatever you're using, and then just grab your needle, rotate it through. And normally I find that you're going to get a little bit of extra right in around the end of the, like right, just not right at the end of the tip, but just in a little bit farther. But there's nothing on there right now. That looks nice and clean. Okay, so this is why I have the tweezers with me, is because I always use the tweezers to pull the parts out of the reducer. It's just a lot easier to do that. You're not fighting to find them. And give that a cleaning. See, that's now nice and clean. So that's ready to go back in the brush. So that can go back into. One sec, I gotta clean that out of there now. You don't want to have any fuzz at the back end here, because anything that's here when you put the needle back in is going to get pushed all the way back through and into your paint channel. So you want to make sure that's nice and clean, and that is perfect. Okay, so double checking to make sure the spring was in there, then that goes back in there. That piece is now ready to go back in the brush. And the other thing I always do is I always check my triggers, because you're going to get a little bit of buildup that happens around the base of the trigger. So get that out of there. And again, blow that out so there's nothing in it. Okay, now we need one more piece, and then we can start reassembling everything. And that piece is the needle knob, or the needle chuck. So again with that, make sure it's all cleaned out good. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and back to your screwdriver. This is the one out of the Iwata kit again, so it'll fit right in here. You're not going to have to worry about losing that. And this is where things are so easy. Slide that in there. And you don't want to lock it up all the way, so back it off a little bit. There you go. Now you can put your trigger back in. And now you can put this back in. Come on, get in there. There we go. What's going on? Why are you not going in? There we go. This is just being fussy. And then the pliers again from the maintenance kit. Again, this is where this is so handy, because you don't have to worry about deforming anything. I know there's a lot of people that use like clothespins, wooden clothespins, just with a regular set of pliers. Those work really good too. The nice thing about these things is these are replaceable. So you can buy them and you can just keep changing them out on your pliers. But those are awesome. I love them. Alright, so now we need to get the nozzle out and get that all put back together. But yeah, this maintenance kit is amazing. We get these pliers, this screwdriver here that's made to fit right in there. You got your nozzle tool. That's nice and clean. Okay, one of the things I do when I'm putting my nozzle back in, I always take and put just a little bit of Iwata lube around here. And it just makes it so that it seats back into the seal. So much nicer. Okay, so that's seated in there now. Snug that up just a hair. Okay. You do want to be careful when you're grabbing your nozzle out of the thinner that you're not grabbing the tip of it. And just check that, make sure that's clean. That looks good. Okay. So what I do here is I just put this back into the nozzle tool. And then back in it goes. Alright, so we are just about complete here already. So it just goes to show you just how much easier everything is with this maintenance kit. Price wise, they're reasonable. They have come down in price, so it is definitely worth getting yourself one. Okay, nozzle back on there. And just give that a quick snug. Okay, so that's all back together. Needle, again, I usually lube up the needle. That snugged up to where I want it. Okay, and then the one final thing that you want to remember, now you got your brush back together. You ready to spray? Not quite. Grab your other screwdriver again. You have to remember to tighten up that chuck. And you want to make that so that it's not grabbing on the needle, but you want it tight enough so that your paint's not coming back out. Because what will happen sometimes is that your paint will actually leach up the needle back into that chuck, and then it doesn't get cleaned properly, because when you're cleaning, your reducer's going in and it's coming out the tip. It's not getting a chance to get back in here. So the longer you paint, the more paint is going to try and leach back up in here. And what's going to happen, right, is as you're moving the needle, you're actually pulling paint on the needle back up into that chuck valve. So over time, you're going to get a spot where all of a sudden it's going to dry out in there. You've let your brush sit, you've cleaned it out. You thought it was fine. You let it sit. You go to use it, and the needle's stuck, right? So you want to make sure that that's tight enough so that it's not impeding the needle, but tight enough to keep the seepage as minimal as possible. So there you go, guys. I hope that made sense as to why you should probably try and pick one of these up for yourself. I'll set this on here so you can see it. So like I said, this has got a plastic jaw set in here. So it's not going to hurt your fluid base, your nozzle base, anything like that. It's not going to hurt any part of your brush. It's not going to deform any part of your brush, because this is going to get destroyed before the brush. This is a little softer than what your brush is, which is exactly what you want. So there's that. Then, like I said, with this, because this is set up to go right into that chuck valve through the back. It just makes it so easy to get that chuck valve in and out of the brush. And then of course you got your nozzle remover, which again is an invaluable tool. Makes things so much quicker. And then, like I said, what I've added to mine is the lube. I've added the little cleaning brush. I've added a small flathead screwdriver and a pair of tweezers. And that pretty much gives you everything that you need right in the maintenance kit. And the nice thing about the container for the maintenance kit, you do have extra spots over here to keep things. So like I put my tweezers over here, my other screwdriver over here, and then on this side you got the spots for the tools that came in the kit. So that goes in there, that goes down there, and you can put them wherever you want, obviously. The pliers kind of more to stay here because they've got the Velcro to hold them in place. This bag is really cool. It's actually removable, so you can take it out. It's a Velcro piece in here too. I like to keep that in here. I've just got some extra things in here, like some sandpaper, more of the cleaners, another thing of lube, you know, so you can hang on. You can keep everything you need right in there. So there, I hope you got everything out of that. If not, please go back, watch the video again. Because this thing is amazing. It's the best thing you can get, for sure. Especially if you run Iwata brushes. Well, if you run Iwata brushes, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work very well for a badger. But, yeah. So, if you found this helpful, please like, share, subscribe. If you're interested, you can follow me over on my Facebook page for live feeds over there. Everybody wants to know why I don't do live feeds over here on YouTube. Mainly it's because we can get away with a little bit more over on Facebook, so it makes it a little bit more fun. And I don't mean get away with things in a bad way. I mean, we can just have a good time over there. We have a lot of fun over there. It's very interactive between myself and the people that are on there. And normally stuff that I do over there is commission work. I did do work on the Roman soldier over there as well. So any of the tutorial coverage, if there was something in there that wasn't covered in the tutorial, it'll be over on the live feed on my Facebook page. So please join us over there, KO Airbrushing at facebook.com. And like I said, we have a great time on the feed. Normally you run the feed Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And you're more than welcome to follow along. Okay, thanks everybody. Like I said, I hope you got something out of this. Oh, and another thing you might want to add to your kit is a piece of sandpaper, very fine sandpaper, something in the neighborhood of 2,500 to 3,000, and if not, find yourself some emery cloth, basically just to polish out the needle a little bit so that you can keep it nice and smooth. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, follow me over on Facebook. I do have a Twitter page too, or not a Twitter, but on Instagram too. I'll put the link up. I don't do a lot over there. I got to start doing that. But anyway, yeah. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do for the next tutorial, but I will try and do another one here again next week. So anyway, take care, everybody. Have a great week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. I will get back to you. If you have ideas for future airbrush tutorials, again, leave a comment. I will get back to you. I try and get back to everybody. I don't think I've missed anybody so far. So, so yeah, do that too. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great week. And we'll see you back here again next time for KO Airbrushing and Design Tutorials.